5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen and in-betweeners, on this week's On the Rocks Live from Home edition, Spill the Tea, sis. We had me, your favorite host with the sassy most. So raise the glass and let the drinks begin.
And most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, buttons and bows and pantyhose. This is On the Rocks podcast, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. Quarantine has been so long, I've gotten into shape, out of shape, back in shape, and now I'm heading back out of shape. My body is like, bitch, make a decision. Oh, COVID. Kurt, do you have a pun for us today?
I do, yes.
Okay, make it snappy, make it quick.
Did you know I once heard a joke about amnesia, but I forgot how it goes.
That was literally the worst pun you have ever. No, you get no drum, you get nothing. That's the worst one you've ever had. You're not even trying anymore, Kurt. You're just phoning it in. Literally, we're phoning it in.
I've been doing it for so long now. There's not many left.
Yeah, well, that's true. We're at over 225 episodes.
Yeah,
Kurt.
exactly.
Yes, today's show is brought to you by Drag4.fans, founded by the creators of the award-winning Just4.fans. Drag4Fans is free to join for all the drag performers of all levels of influence and for people that love drag queens. Watch, subscribe, and tip and drag your content creators around the world. All you drag queens need a little income? Do it with Drag4.fans. Shantae, they pay. Okay, this show is presented by Straw Hat Media. You can watch and or listen to our over 225 episodes at ontherocksradioshow.com. Hello to our listeners around the nation on every major podcast platform, including iHeartRadio and Pandora, Gay Binge TV, and on the Facebook pages of Now Trending, GED Magazine, I Love Gay LGBT, and of course, our very own On the Rocks Radio Show Facebook. We are streaming live on Roku and Amazon Fire TV at outat.tv and HereTV.com and YouTube's Planet Out. We're everywhere. Add and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform. Listen to us. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. I will zoom in and I will show up. Send us an email, info@ontherocksradioshow.com. Send me your questions, comments, and nudes if you're pretty. Okay, check out the new issue of Metrosource magazine. Go to your local newsstands or go to metrosource.com. Okay, let me welcome our first guest, patiently waiting from the East Coast on the East Coast time. She's ready to party. Miss Shuga Cain is a California girl living the struggle in NYC. She's a singer, a master baker, and a professional homemaker. If you can't find her at home taking care of her man or singing in an off-Broadway show, then baby, you know she'll be serving them cakes, honey. And of course, we know and love her as the lip sync queen from the 11th season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Seems like just yesterday. And today marks the release of her single, Sweet Love, which we get to look at today. So stay tuned. Please welcome Miss Shuga Cain.
Hey! How are you? Cheers!
Cheers, girl. There we go.
Already.
Already.
Get started.
I have to say, you look so on point. You know, all of us at home on quarantine, you know, we're looking a little ragged at this point. We're like, let us out. And here you show up looking pristine and gorgeous. Girl, you are put together.
Thank you. It is a ton of old makeup that has been expiring at the bottom of my makeup bag. Because, you know, we don't need no more. So that stuff's getting crusty.
Well, it's funny because, you know, now we're at home. It's like, I don't want to go to the grocery store. How many times a day can I call Postmates? I'm discovering food in my pantry. I'm like, I'm sure that's still good. I mean, carbs don't expire, right? Pasta's pasta.
It's like improv in the kitchen. Just start throwing things together. Who knows what you'll come up with.
And you know your way around the kitchen. Is your oven clean, girl?
Always.
Yeah. So, you know, we know and love Shuga Cain from TV. Like I said, it just seemed like yesterday, but it was actually 2 seasons ago. But you're always, you know, your social media and your branding, and now with your single, you are always in the light. And I love seeing you, and I love following you on social media. But I want to talk about how you became you, kind of the early years. tell me what it was like growing up in a Caucasian Northern California neighborhood, Salvadorian, Apache, and Spanish blood running through your veins.
It was very interesting to say the least. I was a Bay Area kid, so my family moved us up to this town called Magalia, California. And it was, I mean, in hindsight now, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever lived and I love it. But growing up, I mean, it was rough, girl. I was bullied like the hands down. I mean, there was like 2 brown families there and, you know, we got the brunt of everything. Like it just was, it was rough. I was just like this chunky kid who had style. I had a little rat tail, girl. I used to put that thing in my mouth. These kids were like, "Who is this brown kid?" It was a trip. But you know, I think it just made me tougher. But you know, I love it. It's my hometown. So regardless of what it was
it's
like.
funny. Here you are. Look what you're up to today. And, you know, they're probably looking like boo-boo because they have like 3 kids. They can't pay the mortgage on their trailer. And they're like, what is happening to my life? But it's funny.
So true.
You know, I was one of the only Latin kids in an all kind of white private school in Southern California, of all places. I was chubby. I was kind of like energetic in ways that I shouldn't be. And so I can totally relate to what you're talking about. But looking back, I needed that time to kind of build my own confidence, my sense of humor, and not worry about what other people had to think.
100%. I think when we're young, we don't realize the lessons that we're learning. It's like when you get older that you're like, oh, I was like, I had to go through all that. I had to deal with all you crazy people.
Well, it is funny because when I either go on a date or I tell somebody from the younger generation of the gays, I'm like, cherish these days. And I'm like, what am I, an old grandpa now? Like, when did I become that person?
Girl, I feel you. I'm the same, honey.
Now, what was your coming out story? Is it a good one? Is it a difficult one? How did that happen for you?
Oh, wow. I think, you know, it's a mixture, right? Like I was 18. I had always known I was gay. Everyone knew I was gay, but no one said it. I had gone away for a high school program called Upward Bound. And I just kind of like found myself in that kind of experience. And it was after my first year of college that I had come back and I was like, I have to fess up to the family. So I sat my parents down, told them I was gay, and like it was hard for them. We're a Latino family.
Yeah,
like I'm the one carrying on the name, like all this and that. And so it was rough for them. It was really, really hard. They blamed themselves. It wasn't, they loved me first and foremost. So like they didn't like kick me out or anything like that. But like it was a rough thing for us. It took us years for them to, come to terms with what this was. And then, I think I owe a lot of it to my little sister. She was very like forward thinking and like young and just kind of was always tapping in with my parents and kind of like priming them to kind of like accept me.
Well, it's funny because as the Latin culture, we are so passionate and we're loving. Boys have a really close relationship with their mothers usually. But it's funny because that same passion also goes towards, Catholicism or religion and, old tradition. And so you're dealing with 2 groups of passion. But at the end of the day, I believe that kind of passion and love can turn into unconditional love, which you've experienced. But it's having those kind of open conversations.
Yeah, no, it's exactly it. You hit it like nail on the head. Like, and now they're amazing. They love it. They love my fiance. They love Shuga Cain. That's like my dad's favorite. I mean, my mom is, she's so, I mean, they love it. It's amazing to see people that you love and admire and look up to be able to like grow and, be really who you wish and hope they are, and accepting and loving. So,
Now, were you able to tell them that you were leaving to film Drag Race? Or
I did. I had to because I have a little dog, and I was like, "Can you take my chair?" My mom was like, "I was like," so they actually met me at in LA for DragCon LA before I left. I was down there incognito shopping for like wigs and stuff. So they knew. I don't really know if they knew what it was. They were just kind of like, okay, like whatever, you're gonna be on TV. Like,
well, now they do. And you couldn't take your dog because there's enough bitches on that set anyway, right?
Amen. And season 11, we had plenty.
Oh God, such a fun season to watch. I want to talk about your music. Today we're celebrating the release of Sweet Love, and what Sweet Love it is. It's become everybody's mantra for today. People are listening to it on repeat. I had it on my YouTube. I had it on my earbuds today. Like, it was my day. A perfect summer song, by the way. But you have a Bachelor of Music from University of Wisconsin, a Master of Music from DePaul University. You go, DePaul. In voice. Now, I studied music and then I left the program like a year into it because it was so strict, and it was about music theory, and I wanted to sing and like have fun, and I'm singing show tunes, and they were having me sing opera. But there were some classes I loved, some classes I didn't. I want to know, especially knowing kind of what we've seen your personality from the show and listening to Sweet Love, I kind of know what your music is. What classes did you love, and what classes were you like totally the worst at?
Well, I will tell you right now, I was the worst at music theory.
Yes.
Terrible. I had a professor who oh my God, I almost failed. I got D's and F's in that class on every quiz, every ear hearing something like find the root of the chord or find the third. I was like, bitch, I have no idea. He would, his terms to me, every time he would give me a quiz, he'd be like, take your lumps. And I was like, fuck you. I just got a D. So terrible at music theory. So kudos to you for even trying to go there.
That's like the only D's I want are in my personal life. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
And I don't want a D flat.
No, I want a major D major, honey, D major.
I can just imagine you. Where's that teacher now? We should call him right now and be like,
Girl, I mean, hopefully he's still alive, because he was like dust walking, honey.
They're always old grumpy guys with like dust on their shoulders and their office. It's like, bitch, buy some Pledge.
He was amazing. But he was the best. He was the best teacher and the most difficult. But I just couldn't. I didn't do it. My favorite class was music theory. I had one of the most, not music theory, I'm sorry, music history. One of the most amazing professors. Oh my God. She was incredible. I learned so much. I think I learned music theory in the music history class.
Yeah.
That's where I really learned how to like analyze music and like really hear it. And that was one of my favorites.
So moving to New York, literally coast to coast, that must have been a scary move. What surprised you the most about your first kind of couple of months in New York that we were just like, what?
What surprised me the most was how accurate the Heights was to what the actual Heights was. Like, I lived on 160th and Broadway, and every night, it didn't matter whether it was like Tuesday or Saturday, I was woken up by merengue and salsa cumbia music at 3 a.m.
Wow.
I would wake up and I'd be like, why am I dancing in the bed? And I was like, oh, they're playing music. That to me was like, oh my God, this is like really accurate. Like all of I lived for that. But no, New York was a dream. I think the one thing that surprised me the most is I was older. So my party days were gone. So I was seeing New York in a different lens. I just was like appreciative for like how beautiful it is, and how like I was doing all the museums and all of those kinds of things, as opposed to like I'm drinking till 4 a.m. hanging out in Times Square.
Well, and that probably helped you in terms of, entering the kind of drag world at a later age, with that being professionals, like you were focused on the career rather than the partying, which is so much fun still in New York.
Oh, I mean, trust me, I still party. Hello.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
I just had something to balance me out.
But I want to talk about this kind of Cinderella story you have with drag. Some of the queens are like, that bitch, they're super fast. You become a fixture in the drag world in a relatively short time. You leave this 6-figure job, and then you end up on season 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race. You travel the world, and today you released your single. That happened in a relatively short drag career period. Number one, the other queens must hate you because they're like, this bitch. But number two, to make that kind of leap, and then be successful at it. I mean, looking back even 3-4 years ago, how does that play with your mind?
What it does is it reminds me to always believe in myself and to honor what my destiny is. Being an artist has always been something that I have always wanted to do since I was a child. And I always kind of just went to work for the sake of, you know, paying for my rent or like trying to, you know, do whatever, trying to survive in this world. But like, I always sacrificed, you know, the art, the singing, all of that, because at the end of the day, I needed to pay my rent. And so, being able to like fully commit to it has been just a dream. And like, I forget how far I've gone, and to hear you say all the things that I've done in the short amount of time kind of like is another reminder like that, you know, when you give in to what you really truly want in your life, like amazing things will happen. So, I mean, it's a dream.
It is a leap of faith, and right now is a tough time for any type of nightlife performers. And one of the questions that we got for you was somebody that is struggling with their drag career. Now, no places are performing. Digital drag shows can you only get so much in tips. What's your advice to sticking with it, especially at such a low point? And at what point do you say, you know what, I'm going to have to put this on the back burner for a little bit and focus, or do you just keep making it work?
I think it's a two thing, right? Like you always have to keep working at it. Like there's always going to be something that's going to get in the way. I feel like when you're trying to achieve something that is important to you, or like trying to grab something that's yours, there are many things that will get in the way to try to deter you from, you know, living your truth. And so like you have to work through that. It is hard right now. I struggle with it on a daily basis. Like the world is crazy. It's on fire, and we're trying to still move forward. So you still have to plug away. You still have to keep doing it, whether you can get up in the morning or not. Like, don't lose that hope and don't lose that faith. On the other hand, like we do have to work, and we do have to pay our bills, and we do have to live. It doesn't mean that you're putting anything on the back burner right now. This is a very special circumstance that we're living in. And so like, you got to hustle. You got to do whatever it is that you can do to make sure that you're okay and that you can survive. But like, that doesn't mean you're giving up on yourself or you're giving up on your dream. This is just a very, very, very unique time. We've never gone through this before, ever. Do you know what I mean? Like none of us have. And so like, it's a unique thing to navigate. But I highly encourage, because I struggle with it daily, don't let this like keep you from what you really want to do in your life. We have the opportunity. We're at home, and like we can really hone in on those amazing skills that we need to kind of, you know, be successful. So yeah, it's a tough one.
What I love about, you know, if there is any good that's come out of the situation, is we've seen the drag community have to learn new skills, myself included, having to learn how to work Zoom, how to work the lighting for themselves, how to make outfits from what they have around the house, you know, how to connect with their fans still by doing live digital shows. We see this kind of digital revolution happening, and we see drag queens able to perform in shows that are happening across the country, or a small town can do a drag show now for the nation to see, because everybody's connecting digitally. And I think that's a benefit, if there is one, from all of this. You know, I've come in contact with queens I'd never even knew existed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's amazing. That's the thing, focusing on the positive parts of this crazy, you know, time.
Okay, so first time doing drag, you did it at New York Pride Week, and you were running in drag with the Front Runners group. So you had fans that were sending me pictures of you in your Speedos, by the way, from one of your triathlons. They're like, Miss Shuga, I see her cane.
Oh my God, I wish I looked that good now. I was in shape. I was running, swimming, biking all day, every day. I would run from work. I would run from like Wall Street to like Columbus Circle and then hop on the train. I was a mess. Yeah, that was the first time. Front Runners in New York is one of the most amazing groups. That's
Yeah.
where, like, when I first moved into New York City, to find a group of people who are, I mean, they're just like, they're from all walks of life, all kinds of athletic abilities. But at the end of the day, it was all about like a community and just having fun together. They were so supportive of Shuga Cain. And I remember being terrified. I was like, I had been friends with them for years and I didn't know how they would respond to me. And they were beautiful. They were amazing. And it's because of their love and acceptance that like, it gave me the confidence to keep, doing this. And so forever grateful for Front Runners. They're amazing.
Well, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask. There's this play between feminism and masculine in the gay culture. We know triathlons are very athletic and very masculine, and then drag, on the other hand, is very feminine. Did you feel the need to act more butch when you were in sports, and then be more femme when you were in drag? And do you think that line of having to exhibit traits of one side or the other, do you think that line is diminishing in the gay culture? We don't have the macho gays anymore. The femi gays are just as sexy now. Is that changing, do you think?
100%. It definitely is changing. And I love that the lines are being blurred. The lines are being
Girl, you're being a little blurred right now.
Hold on. Let me get one slip real quick.
Me too.
Okay, yes. No, no, it's amazing. Like I love this idea, like that it's just you do what you want, how you feel, whatever it is. Like we don't have to act a certain way. And so that's what I loved about Front Runners, is because there's like 900 members, like it's LGBTQIA plus, and like it doesn't matter. I didn't feel like I had to be masculine to be a triathlete there. I felt I could be whoever I was and act however I felt comfortable being, or whoever I felt comfortable being in that setting. And so that's why it was so beautiful to do that. So no, I didn't really feel it like, and then when we would go to other races, like we were together as a group. So even though I'd be competing against these like very like hetero masculine, like men, I was like, bitch, in my short ass shorts, my tiny little thing, like running and swimming and biking, it's just, I'm very like fluid. I have masculine traits, and sometimes I can, whatever be masculine or feminine. So like, it's just, girl, life is too short to be worrying about like whether you're too masc or too feminine. Like, just live your life and be good,
But it's also a theme that you and I have been from the Latin culture, when we go to like a family reunion, or you're in that kind of, even going to like Latin night, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're adjusting your voice. But I think I find myself doing that less and less. And it could be that I'm getting older, which I know, you were the oldest contestant on Drag Race, which you talk about as a badge of that you think it really helped you, because you did walk in with this kind of confidence that, do I really care about, what other people have to say after everything that you've been through and the success that you had?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think yes, it is being older. That was something that really helped me in that competition, and just like helps me in life. Like, I could lay out every detail and all the struggles that I've had, but it's just kind of like that stuff already happened. I'm like over it. Like now it's just about like living your life and like being who I am, and just being unapologetic about that, and like not feeling that I need to, be a certain way or tell people about everything. It's just, it's what happens when you get old, bitch.
I love how we're saying old, and it's like we're talking about 40s, like we're talking about like 68, like I'm ready for Golden Girls. But it's funny, the Golden Girls were kind of like in their 50s, and I'm like, oh crap, like that's around the corner, girl.
They look. No one looks like that at 50 right now. Like, that's true. Crazy. They look like they were in their 80s at 50. Like that's why.
Okay, what were some of the earliest mistakes you made doing drag, like in your first few months, in your first year, that you look back and you're like, oh my god, that was such a mistake to do?
I didn't blend. My eyebrows were too thick. I don't know. A lot of it was like the look for me. I just was like, I looked crazy. Like I looked crazy. And I would So I started out with Britta Filter. Britta,
Yeah.
her and I met the first night I did drag in New York City.
Wow.
And then her and Jiggly Caliente, we did this thing. And so Britta, like I did her competition, whatever. And like I remember she used to contour like really like hard. So I started cutting a piece of paper. The contour girl, I would cut like a cardboard and just go in. I had this like line. I was painted for the back, honey. So I just looked crazy. That was the big mistake. I just looked wild.
Tell me about day one of filming Drag Race.
That was like insane. We got up like I don't even think I slept. It was like 3:00 in the morning. You're like getting into drag at the hotel room, and then they take you on set. And I literally was like stuck in a room for like 6 hours. I fell asleep on the floor because I had a corset, so I was like laying on the floor. I didn't want to mess up my hair. It was so. That day was like such a whirlwind. I remember being like so excited. I was nervous, but not really nervous. I've always channeled nervous energy into excitement. Like I can't wait to see what's about to happen. But yeah, the waiting, that was the one thing that like killed my life. We were in those rooms forever. And I had waited so long that when I entered the workroom, I for sure thought I was the last girl. And when I walked in, I was like, bitch, I'm only second. I was like, what have y'all been doing for 6 hours? I'm like,
well, great. And you also come from a musical theater background, so you're used to like the adrenaline and nerves like an hour before, and then you're on, and then the rest of the show takes you. But if you had to wait for that much longer, it'd be like, man, jazz hands.
I was asleep.
Now, the Drag Race franchise in the last few years has just become such a machine. Do you feel that you can still be as creative and vocal as you want to be without the pressure of being kind of ostracized from the franchise? I know, some queens have not had such a great relationship with the franchise because they've acted a certain way or said something, or they don't 100% subscribe to the Drag Race environment. And I know, your elimination, there was a lot of debate, a lot of controversy about your eliminations. Like people are saying that's the producers. They were just trying to make a reality show rather than what should have happened. Is there that pressure that you feel you can't really be yourself because you don't want to ruin that relationship?
I definitely could see how that, like, I definitely see that, right? Like there is that, that happens. For me, I'm like, I do kind of like, I don't feel like I'm crazy, right? Like, so I don't like just run my mouth and like act like totally wild, but I do have something in the back of my mind because I'm fairly new. Like I would love to do All Stars. And so I think about,
girl, they need you in All Stars.
Bitch, I'm a Scorpio, so I can snap. Like, and I like sometimes shit just really gets on my nerves. And like, I like, that's why I love my fiance, because I can like be like, oh, am I gonna be crazy if I post this? He'd be like, nah, maybe don't say that. So, I'm like, okay, so I can say it here at the house. But like, there is a level of that. Like you're keeping an eye out. But it's not only for the franchise, it's also for like the kids out there. Like, as much as we think we're just living our fantasy, like the kids are looking, they're paying attention, they're looking to us to like provide some sort of example in how to like walk through life. And so like, yes, I can be myself, but then like, thankfully I just have the self-awareness to be like, okay, like you can just chill for a minute, or like, do you know what I mean? Like navigate my life in a way that is healthy and helpful for me, but it's just also beneficial to whatever it is that I'm doing. So as far as drag though, I feel like I'm doing everything I want to do. And I'm not like, oh, I can't do this in drag. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, a certain look or a certain whatever, or a certain kind of projects. I'm like, I just, I do what I want. At the end of the day, I'm an artist. And so, if I choose to do something and I do it, then I do it. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So,
well, and you make a good point. The younger generation is responding and interacting on social media more with the drag community, more than I think that they're interacting even with, unfortunately, voting, even BLM. Drag Race really opens up conversations, good and bad, on social media. But we see the whole young generation is subscribing to the show, and they're following the queens, and they're invested in what the queens have to say. So there is a responsibility that comes with that. In fact, everybody listening, check out dragoutthevote.com, by the way. Dragoutthevote.org. Yeah.
Yes.
We had Fifi on the last episode, and it's such an important movement.
It really is. It really is right now. I think, you know, the young kids, I mean, they do pay attention, but those of us that are older who have gone through different kind of like political systems and like, you know what I mean? Different people in office, and like, we've seen things get better. And then now it's like, I feel like we're going back to, you know, what, like, worse than what it used to be. So like, it is so important for us as, you know, the drag queens to like really help the children and inform them about the topics and have them vote. And so I love what Fifi's doing. You know, it's so important.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are talking about and we are looking at Sweet Love when we come back. Okay, and we're back.
Yes. Oh, that was quick.
Okay, let's talk about Sweet Love. What made you say, okay, let's do a single?
I know. Well, look, the kids have been asking for it for a while. I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. It just, but at the beginning of the year, it was time. It was time to just do it. And so, look, I'm a 90s kid. I love me some house music.
Oh, it's the sounds are so, they transport me, and it is so tangible.
Yes,
it's magical.
I love it. Yeah, it was just like, I just wanted something that was nostalgic, but still kind of fresh and new. And like, I mean, for me, like the dance floor is like the place where I feel like the most uninhibited, the most free. And so like, what better thing to like, the actual lyrics are stemmed from how I met my fiance. We met on the dance floor, like in this moment. And
I love it.
It was beautiful. So that was the inspiration for this little piece. And I'm just excited to finally do it.
And I'm glad you said, you know, I wasn't ready for it. I think, especially now, everybody's pushing out content. And I think people are not waiting till it's right, or waiting till it's perfected, or waiting till it's their actual own voice, rather than just what are the cool kids doing. Yeah. And so I'm glad that you waited, and the product, which we're going to look at, is just unbelievable. It's so sexy and fun. Now, what was the creative process? Did you kind of sit down and sketch out the song in your mind? Did you write it down? And the video, did you work with like an art director? What was the creative process?
Yeah, so I had met with two guys in LA, Darren Burgos and Paula Ramirez. We my manager Jason hooked us up, and so I went to the studio. They had put together like a bass line and a beat and a bunch of chords and this and that. And it's so funny because I walked in there like after that first one, they were probably like, "Who the fuck is this bitch?" Like, because I have a music background, so I was like, "Take that out. No, don't do that. Do that." I left there with the bass line and the thing, and so I just, you know, to make this like a shorter story, I basically was like, my second session, I hadn't done anything. I sat my ass at Starbucks and I paced around WeHo with my iced coffee, and I started to write the melody and the chorus. And then I went to the studio, and then we just started to collab and we kind of formed the song. So the song was supposed to be released pre-COVID, then everything happened. And so we had more time to kind of work and finesse. So we've been working and finessing it for months over the pandemic thing. But like the video, it just follows the lyrics. It's about, you know, this girl who finds love, sees this guy, falls in love with him, and then it's just kind of like this little moment that they share. So I actually have a good friend named Julian, who's a brilliant music director. I was talking to Honey Davenport. She had
Honey. Honey's
I love
a good
her
friend
so
of the
much.
show. Yeah.
I chatted with her first because, you know, she had been expressed some interest in directing more. And so her and I started talking about a concept, and she was, between her and Julian and I, we started to flesh out this idea that, like, you know, we started to put things like, I love tarot, I do tarot reading. So we're like,
I know you do.
I was like, it'd be cute if you were giving Shuga a tarot reading. And I was like, okay. And so we just kind of played with this idea. And then I forget who came up with the rabbit hole. And I was like, oh, I love this idea. I was hell-bent set on post-apocalyptic world. It didn't really come through. I don't know. We ended up not doing it. But that idea of like shooting it in like some post-apocalyptic thing, it kind of, I don't even know. It just kind of just in talking and you know, collabing with each other. This idea of like me like going down a rabbit hole. I think Julian had this idea about going down a rabbit hole. And yeah, I don't know. I wanted it to be like a dance thing. I wanted it to be sexy. Like everyone calls me the Nana. Like I just really wanted to be young. So yeah, so we came up with the concept, and then the challenge was how are we going to shoot this thing? Like we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like I'm a crazy hypochondriac. I don't want to be around anyone. And so we started to change everything because I wanted to shoot it out. I was like, we're shooting it outside and we have to be away. Everyone has to be in masks. Like we have to do all this stuff. And like, I was really, really concerned about everyone's safety. And so that started to change the story, and it kind of changed a little bit in the decisions that we made. So a lot of things kind of happened in the post, and like, you know, like we kind of started to formulate the story there. But you know, we shot it in New York, in the Bronx, on the hottest night, the hottest summer night. And then I had this great idea that I was going to wear human hair. Jiggly Caliente I was on the phone with her and she was just reading me. She was like, you're going to look like a wet dog, like a wet rat. Like she was like, girl, that hair is going to be so crazy. And sure enough, like the curls fell. So you see it at the last shots. You're like, oh, that hair is rough, girl. But
I love that. That's what happens on a dance floor, you know? It's true.
It was so fun. No, I'm so proud of it. Like the kids really worked so hard. Like my visual effects director, like, I mean, they've been up for the entire week. I don't think they've slept. They've done so many incredible things. It's a video you have to keep watching because there's so many amazing things in there. I mean, it's like, we keep saying it's like a CW. It's like a CW episode of like Charmed or some shit, or like Supernatural. Like it's just so crazy.
I love it so much, but you're right. Every time you watch it, something new pops out. So without further ado, let's take a look at Shuga Cain, Sweet Love. Kurt, take it away.
Love, and I love for you. I see sweet love in your future. Look, girl, I'm looking for love, and I need some pole. Cause this Quarantina, it is real, bitch. When I see you pass by, the sky's open above. up.
Give me your love.
What I love about this is that we see all aspects of you. My mom just texted me. Wow, love her voice.
Aw,
My mom's a
thank
huge fan, by the way.
you.
But we see everything I've come to know and love from Shuga Cain. Number one, we see that sexy sultriness. We see the voice. That it's pop, but it's so velvety and it has such a power to it. So we see your professionalism there, and then we get to see your goofiness a little bit as well come through. The colors, everything is such it's such a delicious piece of art. I guess I would say.
Thank you so much. I mean, thank you. That really is special to hear. Like I said, they worked really, really hard. The directors worked really hard on creating this thing. I wanted it to be nostalgic, and so we like Julian. He looks like he's 12, but we're in the same age. So like, what's Weird Science?
That's exactly
the
yeah.
Like these, we are just pulling from all these different references. And I loved because I was hell bent on. I wanted to show the kids that I'm young and beautiful, and that I can still be like sexy. But he was like, you gotta still be stupid because you're not serious. And so like they really kind of, I loved how we kind of pulled and played, and it's like every aspect of me is in there. So so thank you for that. I love that.
All right, so talk about Sweet Love. I have to know what it's like pursuing a career in drag while having a relationship. For starters, where does he put his clothes? But seriously, there has to be some difficulty in giving somebody your attention when it takes hours to put on your makeup, get dressed, go out, be gone all night, or be gone on a trip or on a TV show. That has to be a little difficult. When there's a diva at home,
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a diva, but like, I get it. I'm very blessed. Gilbert's amazing. He has always been a huge fan of drag, has been a supportive drag before Shuga Cain was even born. He does have just a small corner of a closet in the other room, and that's it. But he's okay with it. And I think that helps, right? It's hard because I travel a lot and I'm not home. So we really have to work to make that time, whether we're FaceTiming, whether we're calling. If I'm traveling somewhere fun, I always make sure that I block off a couple of extra days so that he can come and we can spend time like somewhere beautiful just to see each other. So we make the effort. We've been together for 9 years. It'll be 10 in October.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I definitely, it's work. I definitely recognize that like he's an exceptional human being and is so incredible, and that I'm beyond lucky that we're together. So yeah, it's I mean, what else can I say? Like, it's just it's really beautiful. So but yeah, it's work, everything is.
Okay, how is Jesus the most different than Shuga Cain?
I'm much more shy than Shuga. Like I'm an introverted extrovert. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So as Jesus, like if we're out at a place or a bar, like I'm the one in the corner. I just like hang out in the corner. I still have fun. If you're close with me and my friends, we're exactly the same. So like I feel like what I'm giving you now is exactly what I would give like my close friends, like when we're together. I don't think it's any different. But if I'm not like as Shuga, I have to be like out and if I don't know you, but if I don't know you, like Jesus is really quiet and just kind of chill and super shy. So, but everything else is like, I talk the same, I sound the same. Like I don't really alter like who I am. Like when I get excited, I'm like super loud and animated, but it's the same. It's like literally the same.
It has been such a treat to get and spend time with you, especially on the day of your release of Sweet Love. Can you play a little rapid fire with us?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay, take a sip first, girl.
Okay, let me do.
Oh, girl. Okay, you are appearing on Food Network's baking challenge. What are you making? And you have a half hour to do it.
Half hour to do it. I'm gonna make a what is it? The Swiss roll with the chocolate and the mousse in the middle, like a Yule log. I'll make that.
Yule log, okay. Hey, that could be your next single, and then you release it with a recipe.
It's really quick to make and it's really good.
Okay. Shadiest thing you saw behind the scenes during Drag Race.
The shadiest thing. We were all. Soju had left her Anastasia Beverly Hills case, and we were all stealing all the shit from it. We stole it. We left it with nothing.
Okay, the strangest fan comment or request that you've received.
The strangest fan comment or request. I don't know if I get those, but one of the things that happened that was like totally for me is some guy got my signature tattooed on his body.
Oh,
like that was like cute. So like, who am I, girl? I'm not like Beyonce or J-Lo, but that to me was like crazy. That was so weird, but amazing.
Flattering. Yeah. If you were to create a challenge on Drag Race that RuPaul would have to do, what would that challenge be?
It would be a dancing challenge, any challenge where she would have to show that she can't dance. That girl ain't got no rhythm, but she tries.
Funny.
She sure tries. I love it. When she's DJing and she's trying to dance, I was like, girl, you got no rhythm. I love it.
All right. Okay, Kiss, Marry, Kill.
Okay.
Ross Matthews, Carson Kressley, Todrick Hall.
Okay. Carson Kressley. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me take another sip because give me again.
So Kiss, Marry, Kill. You have to have one for each. So you either have to kiss, marry, or kill Ross Matthews, Carson Kressley, or Todrick Hall.
Kiss, marry, kill. I would marry Todrick Hall. I love him.
Do you think he's the marrying type?
Huh? No, probably not. But girl, it's all right. I'll do my own thing on the side too. I would. Oh my God, maybe. I'm sorry, Carson, but I might have to kill you.
That's okay. He's had a great career.
I know. I'd kiss Ross Matthews. He's adorable. I love him. I know. That's all.
I
had too much to drink, girl. I got confused.
Yeah, no, that's good. Tell our audience where you want them to follow you, find you, click on you.
Yes, honey, you can click on me anywhere at Miss Shuga Cain. I'm on the TikTok, all that, social, Facebook, Instagram. Follow me at, you can go to my website at shugsweetshop.com. I have all the projects that I'm working on there, and you can access everything I'm up to at my website. So.
Oh my God, I love it. And when you're on the West Coast again, we are going to get together and we are going to party.
Yes, I would love that. Oh my God, let's do it. Tequila.
I did drag like a very few times because I was so bad, and my drag name was Tequila Moss.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, see, it's
it was
kismet.
awful.
We're meant to hang out. We're meant to be friends, bitch. Hello.
Love you so much. Okay, now you can go to bed. You're there in the New York coast. We're gonna take and make sure you download Sweet Love.
It's everywhere. iTunes, Google Play, all of it. Something called Deezer. I don't know what that is, but it's there.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking to Heidi N Closet.
Bye,
Shuga.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we're back. All righty, all of our soft and supple fans. Heidi N Closet is self-described dancing disco diva with a quick wit and a bubbly personality. Also backside. Heidi rose to stardom by competing on the 12th season of VH1's reality competition show, RuPaul's Drag Race. From a small town to the biggest televised drag competition in the world. She's a pageant title holder, North Carolina Entertainer of the Year, and of course, Drag Race's Miss Congeniality. Please welcome Heid N Closet. Oh my God, you're so adorable.
Thank you. How are you doing?
God, you look refreshed. You look like you just awoke from a slumber. You look good, girl.
I just saw the doctor. He's taking care of me. No, I'm joking.
What do you use on that skin? Literally, it is so good.
To keep it soft and supple, I tend to use a hydrating face mask every once in a while just to make sure she stays nice and hydrated and whatnot. True.
Girl, you are keeping your audience hydrated with your social media and those pictures. They are on point. It's keeping me alive this quarantine.
I'm trying to give something to the children. I know they're hungry, so I'm trying to feed the children.
So I have to say, I'm so excited to talk to you. The minute you hit the Drag Race screen, you made me smile. There's that all shucks attitude, your unique sense of humor. Your look is really, it captured old school drag as well as what's happening in today's drag. Yay. And I think above all, for me, there was the sense of sincerity that you can't fake, especially in reality TV, especially on Drag Race. It really comes through.
Absolutely.
So I want to know how you became you. I know growing up in North Carolina in a small town, it couldn't have been easy, but maybe it instilled in you some small town sensibility, manners, etc. What were some of the positives of growing up in such a small town?
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. I'm just an old Southern gal, a Southern belle, as I like to call myself. And, just growing up, I wouldn't say poor, but we were poor. And we were definitely lower middle class. It was right above the poverty line. And we kind of grew up not wanting a lot, not getting a lot, but enough to get what we needed, really. And I think that really was part of it. I enjoy the simpler things in life as well. Growing up in such a small town, I really do enjoy simpler things. I love to sit at home and hang out and just relax and just, look at, I like to bird watch, not actually birds per se, but people who walk by.
Well, you're in LA now. You're man watching, girl.
All the time. No, Jay. All the time. And it's just lots and lots of years of just me learning how to cope with things and struggle with things. Pretty much struggle all my life to be able to make do with what you got and make it work. And that's really something that probably shined through a lot as well on the show.
Well, I think we really saw that kind of dichotomy because you're in this competition, you're in this industry where outfits are bigger, glitzier, more expensive. And now Queens, I think the focus has gotten kind of from the talent is now really on the look, and now stylists are now providing outfits. And it's well, let's back up a little bit because the intention of drag was to entertain, and it's about the talent. And so seeing you in these beautiful outfits, but with that kind of sensibility and hardworking and just humor, your one-liners, it was so nice to see. Now, when did you kind of get the first idea that you might be a little different from the other boys, the other kids, even in terms of personality?
Oh, it was definitely at a very early age. I was that kid. I would want to play with my sister's dolls and whatnot, trees. I always, when we were on the playground at school, I would play with the girls, and I wouldn't go I wouldn't go play in the dirt. I would go sit on the swings, the swing and whatever, and jungle gyms and whatnot. You do cartwheels and all that stuff. So I knew I was different from a very young age. Not per se knowing that I was a homosexual, gay.
Homosexual. When you say it, it's so fabulous. I think if people talk that way in the White House, nobody would have a problem with the homosexuals if they said it the way that you said it.
A homosexual. There's nothing wrong with a homosexual. There's not. But
it sounds fun.
Absolutely, it sounds delicious. I'll take 2, please. But no, I knew I was different per se. I just knew something was different, and here we are now, really.
Now, when did you first get that kind of entertainment bug that you're like, oh, I'm going to be a performer?
Okay, so I was actually part of a dance company back in
And
high
you were a
school.
color guard too.
Yes, as well as color. I did them both at the same time. I was one of the few people that could bounce back and forth, and it was very difficult, but it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. I learned how to spin the flag and the rifles and the sabers, and dance house down. And what was amazing about my dance company, Catalyst Dance Company, located in Ramsey, North Carolina, is the only dance class slash company in Randolph County. So, boo-doo. But we did so many different things. We did jazz, we did tap, we did contemporary ballet, African, just so many different styles of dancing. And I fell in love with performing. And we'd have a concert at the end of every semester. And when I hit the stage, I just lived my best life. So that was probably the moment I really got that, oh, I want to entertain for the rest of my life. I want to perform.
Now, it's funny because I was in dance class when I was in high school until the football team caught me in my unitard. And I quit right after that because I just couldn't. I didn't have that kind of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, to be made fun of by sexuality I was dealing with. Number two, body issues in a unitard. Now, what gave you the confidence to still do that, knowing it probably was not the most popular for you, probably got you a lot more attention on who you were becoming at that point?
Yeah, actually, there's two things that really helped with it. One was I didn't really fit in anywhere, and it wasn't until I started dancing and doing color guard that I found where I belonged. Like I found my tribe, and that's where I found my safe space at school. So that's where it all like, I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people look at. I don't care. This is me. This is my fun. I'm feeling safe. I feel comfortable. And honestly, the second thing is the way that the world has progressed by each generation. I think my time was sort of in the middle of like the older, like no taboo and yes, honey, everybody's all for it. So I was like somewhere in the middle of that growing up. And the jocks, they would like come and support, and like it wasn't like the super popular thing to do, but like it would happen on a Friday night in a Randolph County, a small country town. There's nothing to do on Friday night. So let's go to the dance concert and cheer them people on. So it was very that, and it was very happy and very a good experience. And it helped me become who I am and make me stronger and be like, yes, I can entertain even these football players. Let's do it. Let's go.
Well, and I love to hear that. And I think it's people like you that continue with who you are, because things are changing. Like you said, you were kind of in the middle, but for a football team to go support and cheer you on, that's huge. That's a whole different environment than when I grew up. And plus, who knows, maybe you got a little football boy kiss out of it or not.
No, it was a wrestler. But
of course, it's always the wrestling team. Of course. I mean, hello.
They get you the wrestling singlet.
Oh, I'm schwitzing over here. Now, becoming Miss Congeniality on Drag Race, such a huge honor. I honestly think in some ways it's better to be the funny, likable one in Drag Race rather than the winner, because with the winner, you're always attributed, okay, here's the winner, and you're kind of put in that box. But you kind of have this legacy that affected, I think, your fans in a different way. I mean, your fan base is huge, and I think it was because of that kindness, the sense of humor, that might have been diminished if the focus was just on you being the winner. Does that make sense?
I completely understand. I smell what you're stepping in. Absolutely. I can see that because, people really are drawn to that. To me, they seem to be drawn to my like Southern hospitality, my sweetness, my relatability. And, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm here for longevity. And, a lot of the queens who have come in and may not have won, but they've come in and like showed the world what they could do and do it well. And people fell in love with that. They're the ones that are like the larger names. Those are the Trixie Mattels. She won All Stars, but even before All Stars 3, she was like one of the bigger names.
Right.
Like there's a lot of the girls who aren't the winners who are the bigger names. So I'm like, if that's what it takes. I'm here for it. I take those.
Now, I was so upset when you were eliminated because I lived for your one-liners and your facial expressions in the confessionals. Like literally, I would rewind and watch your little confessional segment again and again, because the producers must have loved you, because it filled such almost like the comedy track, you know, and it was such an important part of the season. Where did that sense of humor come from?
Oh goodness. Well, I like to contribute.
Attribute.
Girl, I
Yeah.
can't speak.
We know you like to make up your
Sure.
own words. It's fine.
Absolutely. But well, one, I didn't know my mother growing up. She passed away when I was at a very young age.
Right.
But from what I've heard, she was a very funny person. So I like to say I like to have gotten it from there. But also it comes from growing up and having it hard. You know, I've learned that if it's not, wait, let me rephrase this right. Let me make sure I get the words right. If you are able to laugh at it, it's not that bad. So it's very much, I've learned to laugh at many things in the world. Be like, oh, Kelly. So I've definitely grown a fabulous sense of humor to be able to laugh at a lot of things, even things that normally I wouldn't think that's funny, like myself. I think I'm hysterical. I don't know, but yeah.
But I know what you mean. I've had, you know, some troubles in my past too, and the bond that I had with my mom and my grandma was always based on humor. Now I know, like you said, you lost your mom at an early age. You were estranged from your father. You were raised by your grams.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lot to handle. You know, so much happening and having grief as part of your childhood. What advice can you give to youth out there that might be suffering a loss or estranged from their family?
You know what? It's gonna sound cliche, but it gets better.
Yeah.
Things might not look like they are, but they will. Once you grow up and get out there and start finding your people and your chosen family and your group and where you belong in the world, you'll be able to grow more into who you are as the person and really develop all the things that you are lacking now, and it'll be so much better. So it gets better. Take your time. Your life is your story to tell. Tell it how you will do it, and just have fun while doing it, while being safe as well.
Now, I was, like I said, I was raised by my mom and my grams, and my grandma and I had such a special relationship that most of the gays in our community don't quite understand that kind of bond, and that kind of love. There's just a certain bond there that you just can't explain.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different level of love. What has your grams taught you the most about life?
Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Just a heavy question is all.
that's the heavy question. She's taught me that always shoot for the stars and always do your best no matter what you do. She's really been that person. We haven't always seen eye to eye, of course.
Yeah.
And she's really come around, but she's always said, no matter what you do, make sure that you are the best that you can be, no matter what you are. So always put your best foot forward. So that's definitely the biggest thing that I've taken away from her. Sorry,
You certainly have. You
I'm
certainly
getting a
have,
little
my friend.
emotional. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little emotional. She's actually in the hospital right now. Sorry.
No, there's nothing to be sorry about. This is that kind of bond. And you know, I saw you post that on Instagram. I didn't want to ask you. You know, this is kind of it's got to hit really home for you. You know, kind of being on in LA and having all this attention for you. There's still this real part of life that's happening to you.
Absolutely, yeah. And it snaps you back to reality really easily. But you know, I always see myself as someone who's very grounded in reality, even though I have a personality of like a Saturday morning cartoon character. So.
Girl, I love those characters. Well, I'm sending much love to your grandma.
Thank you.
And I'm sure all of your fans are as well. Let's talk about the reality of the confessionals. Do the producers kind of like prep you before and say, you know, if you could add a little funny here, do you get time to write your little funny bits? Or, you know, what's the tea? How often are they filmed even?
Oh goodness. We definitely don't have like time to prep. We film confessionals every morning really before we even start doing things. So there's that. And
they make you wear the same outfit.
Well, they take care of the clothes at least. So that's
I was gonna say it's gonna get a little ripe by the end of that.
No, girl, yeah, honey. But no, you don't really have time to make your own one-liners. They try to have us as organic as we possibly are because they feel like it's when we're at our best, which for me personally, that's when I'm at my best. So I would just go in there and they just let me talk and they'd like, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about it? So it's like an interview basically, and I just answer the best way I can.
Well, you were the master or mistress, shall I say, of those confessionals. Now, what was the hardest part of filming the competition for you?
Oh goodness, the hardest thing was being away from my network of support.
Yeah.
It was hard because in my drag, my partner is very supportive and very like there for me to lean on and stuff when I'm doing drag, and not being there for that long a period of time, it was hard, but I did grow to be very independent and stuff, so I got it together. But that and how cold it is in the workroom, it's really freezing cold in the workroom. That was pretty hard too.
Keep them up. We saw little justicles coming up.
Absolutely. It was
Now, I know traveling for Drag Race was your very first kind of plane ride. And now you have been kind of seeing, well, before COVID, more of the world. What are your first impressions about the nation on a bigger scale now that this whole world has been opened up to you?
Oh my God, it's to me, the world is so much more like diverse than I thought it would be. Because I had never really traveled that much, and the few places I have traveled to were kind of similar to home, unless it was like the beach or something. So just seeing how different lives and living situations are in so many different places, that's definitely been something very different for me. I was like, whoa. Like when I went up to New York, I was like, whoa, okay. So this is a lot.
That is a lot.
This is what we're doing. Okay, literally, they never sleep. And I'm like,
that's true.
Okay, cool. Okay. And then when we went to Vegas, it's like an adult amusement park all around. I'm like, what? So yeah, it's definitely it's very different and opening of the eyes to see what else is out there.
Well, and now you have moved to LA. Welcome.
Thank you.
What has surprised you the most about LA living specifically?
Oh goodness, the rent prices.
No kidding. It's so ridiculous right now. It's like, girl, please.
I was like, I went from the humble prices of North Carolina to WeHo. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. It was definitely a jump up in prices. But everything else is pretty cool. I'm kind of a homebody, so especially now with COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm usually at home, and the temperatures are actually very similar. It's just not as humid, thank God.
Yeah.
It's not as humid
you keep your face on.
I know it won't melt off in an hour or two, thank goodness. But yeah, definitely the price has definitely been the biggest thing for me. Stressful.
Now I want to talk about Drag Race. Day one, entering the workroom on day one, after being inspired from season one to do drag in the first place. What was that feeling when, and I know you kind of had to wait in a room for a little bit probably before they brought you on. What was that feeling though when they're like, okay, you're up, here's your workroom entrance? What did that feel like this whole circle of life?
It was like a whole full circle moment. I watched since season one, and I didn't start till right after season 6. I was like, okay. So as soon as I got to, there's the curtain in the doorway where you walk into, and you get to there's a walkway right before you get to it, and you see that bright neon light and that fuchsia color curtain. It's like, it's
real.
Getting real. Oh my God. I know this area. This is, oh my God. And then as you just walk in and you cut the corner, it's like you're literally stepping into the TV. It's like, I can't. Like literally, I almost blanked on what I was going to say. I was like, it was incredible though. It was truly incredible. It's definitely an experience that I hope so many more people get to experience. It's so like that moment of just like I was talking about earlier, opening the eyes. It's just very that, but on like a 15 cameras are in my face while doing so.
Well, and like you had mentioned before, the road to Drag Race wasn't necessarily, full of riches, shall we say?
Absolutely not.
And now, I think the year before Drag Race was kind of dire for you, right?
Yeah, actually, I worked at a gas station the year
Oh,
before.
fill her up, girl.
Honey, always.
Dreamland.
Please. Thank you. And I worked my butt off and only made $9,000 the whole year. And I faced a lot of discrimination while working at that gas station. A lot of people were just so rude to me. I had to clean literal shit off walls. And it was definitely a struggle bus moment for sure for that whole actually I was there for like 2 years in total.
Wow.
But that last year I was so over it. And it wasn't until that last year I realized that people who I had been there for so long, I was starting to train the new people because the turnover rate was just so high because people don't know how to act at a job. So I have stories about these people at the job. But
I want to see that web series.
You might. But, might see it in a book actually.
Oh, I want to.
But no, I was training people, and when I found out that people who I was training was making more money than me, I was like, I understand this might be the new like minimum wage for us or whatever. That's fine. Is there a way that my price could go up to that? Like I was asking for more. I was asking to match what the new people were making. And they were like, no, they turned me down 3 times. And on that 3rd time, I was like, you know what? I'm leaving. And I left. And literally maybe 3 weeks after I left, that's when I auditioned for Drag Race. And
and look what happened. I mean, this is such a statement to go after your dreams and don't put up with crap. Literally, right?
Literally. Tired of the shit. Literally. Oh my God.
But now look, I mean, what goes through your mind when you look back, like looking at your social media, 635,000 followers, living in LA, booking appearances all over the place. Life has totally changed for you in the space of 1 year. How do you comprehend all of that? I mean, that just must boggle your mind.
It completely boggles my mind because this time last year, well, what was it? Last year we had just finished filming this time, but like a year ago and some change ago, I would have never guessed that this was what the world would be right now. Like,
yeah,
like there's just so much has changed. My social media has grown. I have fans around the world, and there's just so many people there to support me. And I've never had like a big group of people that supported me. I've always had like a really close knit, very few people that I have near me or support me.
This is your family now.
Absolutely. And the family has grown so astronomically. It's incredible. I just take it all one day at a time and just remember who I am. I'm Heidi N Closet, the same gal she always was, just with a bigger platform. Heal.
No, but does that come with a lot of pressure? Because, Miss Congeniality, we know you as the funny, sweet one. If you're out and about and you're just tired, you're grumpy, or you have something angry to say, do you feel this pressure that you can't really be yourself because you're known for something? Oh, God, girl.
Absolutely not. No. Being myself on the show is what got me to Miss Congeniality. So for me, I don't think I'd have to change. Yeah, we all have those days where we're just like, I don't want to be bothered, da, da, da. And I've always just found it easy to find a way, like, be like, hi, this is just not the kind of moment I'm looking for, to be like, oh, bubbly, happy-go-lucky, I'm going through some things, this is a rough day or whatever. So I feel like it's okay to be human. Like, that's the thing, we're all humans. And so I don't let pressures of being Miss Congeniality pressure me into having to be like super go-lucky, bubbly all the time, because I wasn't even that on the show. I've come to terms that I'm probably the shadiest Miss Congeniality. And it's okay.
Hey, I love that title. That's a great title.
And I take those, and it's fine. I wear it with pride. The shadiest Miss Congeniality. I'm okay with it because Mama was reading too with the other girls on the show. So.
Now, did you watch? How did you watch the show? Were you at home? Were you at like bar events until COVID hit? Obviously.
The first 2 episodes I watched while I was on the road.
Was that surreal?
Yes. Oh my God, it felt so amazing. I watched the first one in New York and then the second episode in LA. And it was
look at we go, girl, bi-coastal.
And from one coast to the other within a week, honey. It was so much fun. And it was a lot of fun getting to see, at least experience it just a little bit, even though I didn't get to fully experience throughout the whole season or whatever.
Yeah.
or like do the typical Rue girl thing, whatever. It's all good. I still got a taste of it. And once all this is over, I'm gonna get more taste still. And then for the rest of the season, I was at home, in the comfort of my own house, living my best life and whatnot, truth, and watching it how I would normally watch it, a fan of the show.
Yeah.
The only difference was my face was on the screen this time
That's
around.
so crazy.
Like, and literally, I just remember watching back all the episodes. I'm like, okay, I remember exactly what I said right here. Oh my God, I hope it doesn't air, or I hope it does air. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
And was it surprising for you to see how the producers kind of worked the show? I'm sure what you see is a whole different experience to actually what you went through.
Because when we talk so much, like literally that one day we talked for a whole hour about Tang. Look, me and the girls. It was so serious. We literally sat around.
It's a very important subject.
Absolutely, Tang lives matters. But no, but we literally talked about Tang for an hour, and why, I don't know. We were just bored that day. I don't know. We had nothing else to talk about. They edited it out. It's fine. But it's weird because we do talk so much, and you see only a little snippet of it, but it still weaves together a wonderful story. So kudos to them on being able to take us from like deranged Tang talk to a really good season.
Hey, that'll be the name of your podcast, Tang Talk.
I live.
Now it must have been weird filming like the reunion and kind of the finale from home.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, watching it, when I heard that that's what was going to happen, we were going to see everybody via Zoom or however, I thought it's going to be a mess. It's not going to be fun. I was so delighted that it came off so fun and the energy was there. And I love seeing people in their environment. But that must have been a big hassle. Did they just send you like a kit of cameras and be like, here you go? They're
like, here, we're going to send you all this stuff with instructions. Good luck. We'll call, make sure everything's okay, that everything's working. We'll do a couple tests beforehand. But here you go. It was interesting. It was definitely an experience per se. I enjoyed it thoroughly because I was comfort at home.
Yeah.
The only thing that was uncomfortable was me, sitting in a wooden chair all day. But luckily I had about 2 cocktails throughout the day, so I was okay.
Now, be honest, did you tuck for that?
For the reunion?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No, why would I? That stressed me out just thinking about it. No. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't dare. I mean, I at least had on panties, but no, I did not tuck. No.
These are my Zoom panties.
Absolutely. I was about to go, Zoom a little bit. Zoom. Do you remember that little Honda commercial? Zoom, zoom, zoom.
No.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. It was funnier in my head.
Now, like how you mentioned, it's so it sucks so bad that the whole point of being on Drag Race is the whole year after you are booked everywhere at all the live events, especially Pride season, and that kind of was taken away from you. But I have to say, you are keeping your brand out there so
Absolutely.
well.
Thank you.
But there's also that kind of, it's like, oh, well, that's a way to also build your fan base, is to be there at the live events and to travel and to kind of build that. That kind of sucks. So can we depend on you for coming back for All Stars?
I mean, if they were to ask me for an All-Star season.
Let's call Michelle right now.
Hey, girl, tell your best friend to put me back on the show. No.
Now, how much interaction do you get with the judges and even Rue? It's not like you guys are just hanging around on set. Is there a way to build an actual friendship with these other RuPaulians?
Oh, I'm actually glad that you asked. You know what? I say this for all future contestants of Drag Race.
Yes. Give us some tips.
What you need to do is take every opportunity you have to show them who you are. During walkthroughs, show them who you are. During your critiques, literally during the critiques, I would be talking back to them, not like sassy or whatever, be like, yeah girl, I'd crack jokes during critiques. I'd talk, nonsense to them. I made chicken noises during critiques. Like,
you love your noises.
Absolutely. I love them. Literally, sometimes I just sit around the house, make noises, just see what I can do. But literally just give them you at all times and you should be fine. And that's the best way to build a relationship with them.
I think that's such a great tip. Number one, that's how you stand out with them. So they're thinking about you after the lights are down, but then they also see the genuine you. Like I said, you have this sincerity to your drag that you just can't replicate or fake. And you just can't. And I don't get the queens that don't take the opportunity to get notes from the leaders of the business to build their craft or to build a personality that think that they're above it. I've never understood that, where they're not taking the notes and taking it as a free masterclass.
I don't get it either. Me personally, you saw me on the show.
Yes.
I was a plagiarist at one point. No, I'm joking. Like Lily, it's like from top people in our industry. Why would you not want to take in what they're telling you? You know what I'm saying? They're literally dropping wisdom for you to be able to grow your own brand and flourish and create your own empire of your own. Why not? I want to. That's what I did, and that's what I'm working on now. She's coming.
Exactly.
I'm not there yet, but one day I will be.
Girl, you're on the fire road. Now, do you think some of the queens underestimated you because you were so nice and you weren't trying to be the villain or trying to, to be the standout? You naturally were the standout. But do you think other queens were like, yeah?
I don't think people underestimated me because I was nice. I think people may have underestimated me because my makeup was bad. But
girl, I could drop some names to some of your fellow contestants that was like, did you forget your brushes today? What's happening?
Like finger paint. But no.
Paint by number. Is that a Picasso?
It's one of those paintings that from a distance it looks good.
Yeah.
But close to like, very that. Yeah, it's that moment. Yeah. But no, I think that maybe because my makeup and my outfits maybe not weren't the best. Maybe that's where I was underestimated. But they all saw that my personality was amazing. And that's literally why they kept saying, "Girl, you'll be fine." They love you. I'm like, thanks. Yeah. I'm glad that they do because they don't like my makeup and outfits. They like something. And just that personality. Thank God. Thank you, God, Mama, everybody. Good genes. Thanks.
Okay, so spill the tea. What's happened to your DMs since Drag Race? Now, I know that you're not single, but what was that kind of attention like? What kind of DMs were you getting?
Oh my goodness, I get all the DM. Like the girls, we all have a group chat, and they are all like, "Well, I get this kind of pic, and I get this kind of pic, and I'm just like, everyone tells me how sweet I am and how inspirational I am, and I'm so happy. Like,
I'd be like, send me those pics.
Literally, some of the girls are like, look at this, what Scott sent to me. I was like, whoa, that kind of stuff does not get sent to me. I'm just like, well, everyone just tells me how inspirational I am. Everyone sees me as that very kind person, which I'm happy because I am a kind person. And people just always have inspirational things to say to me, and I try to get back to as many as I can, but I'd have to literally like sit at home all day for a couple of days and not do anything else but respond for me to be able to get back to everybody. So if you're listening to this, my people, thank you so much.
There we go. Okay, just real fast. We're going to just talk about real fast and then be off of it. There was an unfortunate incident, obviously, with one of your cast members from that season that ostracized them from the press, the reunion, everything. Do you think that was fair?
You know what? I feel like the events that happened were horrible, of course, and wrong. But luckily, I think that our cast was talented enough to, have more people to focus on other than the negativity that was going on surrounding it. So luckily, we had strong personalities like myself, like Jada, like Gigi, and all those people that we could focus on. I think things were handled to the best of their abilities. And my thoughts and loves and prayers go out to the victims.
And I think you hit it on the head. It was done so professionally, I thought, and it was also a warning to the community. It's like you can't just be a certain way anymore. You have to hold yourself accountable.
Absolutely.
Now, what does Pride mean to you this year more than any other year?
Oh my goodness. It's Pride this year has really been a year for self-reflection for me. What do I hold dear? What does Pride truly mean to me? As I sit on my couch and eat my salt and vinegar potato chips.
Ooh,
You
yes,
with me?
girl.
Kettle cooked, kettle cooked. You with me? You with me? Okay.
Yes,
As
I
sit
was
on
there
that couch-
yesterday. Yes.
As I sit on that couch eating my kettle cooked salt and vinegar potato chips, I think of all the things that I've taken for granted in the past. And it's all these memories that I have flashing back to me of just having a great time at the parades and whatnot trees and just living my best life, having a cocktail or two or 17 and just living my best life. And you know, those kind of things we
I
take
do
for
know.
granted. We
Yeah.
we get to the place where we really take things for granted. You know, just going out and giving someone a hug, those kind of things we take for granted. And I miss that. I love human interaction. I miss being able to go out and have fun with people. And little things like that are things that we take for granted. I think it was an amazing time for us to be able to take that time to reflect and see what we do take for granted and see what really means to what really means a lot to us and what things aren't so important, you know?
You know, I would vote for you. If you're running for office, I would vote for you. I had such a great conversation with Bob the Drag Queen. So I think Bob the Drag Queen for president, and you can be VP until you
Absolutely.
take the air, right? I think
Do I
that's
still
fair.
have to be do I still have to be 35 to run for VP?
Do you?
I know you have to be 35 to be president. But
I didn't know that.
But
Well,
she'll
I
be
mean,
26 this month, so she got a couple years to wait. But hopefully 2032 is my year. So
I love talking with you so much, and I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I know what it's like to have a grandma who's sick. So I send you all of the sincerest love.
thank you.
You know, I know, like we said, you know, in entertainment, you put on this kind of personality because that's what your fans want.
Right.
And sometimes there's a lot happening behind the scenes. So I really appreciate you sharing your time with us today.
Absolutely. Of course.
And like who you are, we got to see Heidi a little, you know, a little casual.
A little Kiki. Hopefully you'll be able to see
Yeah.
me on your screen one day, and you know.
Okay, do you have any survival tips about quarantine with your boo?
Oh goodness, yes. Don't drive each other crazy. If you need a moment, go to the other room. You know.
Is this a new boo, by the way?
No. We've been together. Will it be 3 years this month?
Okay, that's pretty good. That's about 10 years in lesbian time. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
We've moved in, you know, we've gotten several cats by now. U-Haul was everything. You know, living our best lives. No, I'm joking. But no.
Well, and 3 years in your life, everything has kind of changed in these last 3 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy because I didn't start really taking drag seriously until I met them. And they're very integral to my drag.
Yeah.
And they're the biggest like support system to my drags, which was why it was so hard on the show to deal without them. But yeah, 3 years is a long time. It's when everything started changing. I started taking drag more seriously. I wanted to start doing things, going places and doing things. And, you know, 3 years worth of hard work. Here we are.
Has that been kind of hard to adjust that, yes, you were hardworking in drag, but now you're a household name on national TV in one of the highest rated VH1 shows that they've ever had? Has that taken some kind of adjusting in the relationship? Like, girl, don't be a diva. I know you're famous now, but, you know.
No, he's always been the type of person that pops my head no matter what anyway, so I don't even have a chance to get a big head. He won't let me be great, but he just won't let me be great for like 10 minutes, but it's all good. But no, I'm typically very good about it. Like I don't really have diva moments. The most time I have diva moments is when something doesn't go how it's supposed to, like planned or whatever.
Yeah.
I try to be a perfectionist. I know I didn't show it on the show, but I'm actually quite a perfectionist when it comes to my and yeah, that's usually the only time I have like diva moments like, you know what? No! But any other time I'm really pretty chill and fun. It was quite a slight adjustment for myself, being like a household name. I'm like, ooh, these people know me. Like when I went furniture shopping for my new place, I got clocked out at Ashley's. I was like, oh my God, no.
Yes.
And like when I go to Starbucks up the street,
Yeah.
it was a very sweet moment. I walked in and then this mother and her daughter was there, and all of a sudden I just hear whispering, and I can hear And then I'm like, oh, they're about to say something. And then all of a sudden I hear, Heidi! And I just slowly turn, yes! That's slightly like being clocked out in public. That's really the biggest adjustment. But I'm happy with who I am as a person. And I worked very hard and very long to get to a place where I love who I am as I am. And I don't plan on changing no matter how much fame I get.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. Okay, are you ready to play a little rapid fire?
You know, my grandmother taught me to be safe with fire, but you know, sometimes you just gotta throw caution to the wind. So let's do it.
All right, let's do some burning love. Okay, what habit or trait is the most North Carolina thing about you?
Oh goodness, probably how I talk. I have a very nice North Carolinian accent. Other than that, I love sweet tea. I love sweet tea.
Oh, now do you put vodka in your sweet tea?
No, I put in my cranberry juice in the morning for breakfast.
Breakfast of champions.
Absolutely.
Okay, we know your name was up for grabs on your season of Drag Race. But you get to pick a new drag name for RuPaul. What's Ru's new drag name?
Her new drag name is, oh my goodness, what would it be? Oh my goodness, Solicit in Closet.
I love that. Well, and I love the origin of your name. So I grew up in Orange County, which is a very conservative part of Southern California. Yeah. And everybody on Grindr is in the closet, cannot host because they're married or they're whatever. So yeah, in closet, yes. Mm-hmm.
Solicit in Closet is her name.
Ooh, she'll be so happy. Okay, a cast member from your season that you could see having relations with.
Oh goodness, Nikki Doll.
Yes. Oh, such a crush on Nikki Doll.
I love her. Oh,
so handsome and then so beautiful.
Absolutely, big sister Nikki. Oh my goodness.
Okay, your celebrity crush.
Oh my goodness, my celebrity crush. Actually, I got to work with him and met them several times. Jamal Sims. I've had a crush on Jamal Sims ever since he's been choreographed for all kinds of different shows back in the day. I was like, yes. Yeah. Oh my God, he's gonna hear this. Hopefully not.
Yeah, no, he will. Maybe it's your hall pass, or maybe you can have a throuple like Derek Barry. What is the most overperformed lip sync in drag?
Oh my goodness. Get on up, turn me up, get on up, make me scream, get on up, make me shout, get on up. Turn the music. That song, especially in the South, oh baby, all the girls, every time. There's never a show without it. Get on up.
I love chatting with you so much. It's such a pleasure to get to know you a little bit more beyond the facade of Heidi. Yes. Tell our audience where they can find you and follow you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Heid N Closet, as well as on TikTok at The Heid N Closet. If you'd like to buy some Heid N Closet merch, you can go to theheidencloset.com to get you a shirt, a clack fan, enamel pin, whatever, 8x10 signed by yours truly, of course. And you can catch me on YouTube as well at Heid N Closet. And just announced today on World of Wonder Plus, Wow Present Plus, Gap Chat is coming out on September 14th.
Oh my God! How exciting! Oh my God!
On Wow Present Plus.
That is exciting. That is something I'm signed up for. Sign me up. Renew my subscription. I am part of that. How exciting! I'm so happy for you.
It was just a whole day of me talking foolishness, so it's going to be good.
Oh, good. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for sharing your time, and my love to you and your family and your fans.
Thank you. Love back to you, darling. Thank you so much.
All right. And once this is all over, we're going to hang out since I'm in West Hollywood. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got to meet your boo. I got to ask him some rapid fire questions. We got to get to what's happening.
Don't do it. He'll tell you the
truth. Thank you, Heidi, so much.
Mwah.
Mwah. All right, that's all, folks. It's always a grab bag of fun every week on The Rocks. Give us a like, a subscribe, a share, send nudes. Actually, send your nudes to Heidi. Heidi needs your nudes. But head to ontherocksradioshow.com for all this fun for free. Hopefully, we'll be back in the studio very soon. And for all of you Star Trek Discovery fans, I have a surprise for you a week before it premieres on September 24th. We love a man in uniform, especially a Trekkie. All right, so stay fabulous, stay happy, stay healthy, stay tipsy. This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.